Hey guys, this is Glenn with Black Creek and Great Northern Railroad and N-Scale, and I wanted to give you guys an update on what I've been doing for the last 3 days. And I just finished my first building that's going to go on the layout. It's the Walthers Merchants Row 3, and it was my first time, and I have been studying and watching videos and all kinds of stuff for years, and I finally got to use some of those techniques while I was doing the construction of this building. And the only paints that I have were the war paints that I have from the wargaming stuff that I do for miniatures, and they actually worked pretty good. I did airbrushing on the base coat for both sides of the building, and then I also did a black coat on the inside of the building in order to, here I'll show you, maybe I can show you guys. You can see it's black inside there, and then all you can see is just through the windows. And that's what you want, because you don't want your building to completely glow if you put LEDs inside of there, because that just doesn't look good when you're doing night operations and you're running trains, and then you look over in town and the whole building's glowing like it's gone, something's awry, and it's all looks like it's glowing like some kind of nuclear plant or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was a little difficult. But I felt like the instructions were pretty clear. There's the good diagram on here with all the parts in the list on the parts, and an explanation on how everything's supposed to go together. There was a few places where I had to kind of figure out on my own because I didn't understand the instructions, because the way it's worded, I guess. I'm not sure. Everybody learns, and reads things differently. So you can't, make it for, well, for a majority of the people. But yeah, it's pretty neat. And I just got a couple of woodland scenics trees up here for reference. I don't think that all of those are in scale. I believe maybe the smaller ones might be in scale, but they are pretty large. But the big ones in the back, that might be HO scale. I'm not really sure, but I just got it out here just to give it some color and give it reference and take some pictures. And I'm going to have some pictures up on my Facebook page so you guys can look at those if you want to see in more detail of everything. Well, actually, I'm going to do that in the video too here. But yeah, so I sprayed the inside of that with a matte black finish, so that when you put the LEDs inside there, only light is going to be coming through any windows that I left where light can be coming through, or the doorways and stuff like that. But yeah, the weathering, I need to learn better at doing weathering. I didn't do too bad on it. As far as like the building and then the concrete, I got to critique, or I guess refine my weathering techniques. But I didn't do too bad, I guess, for my first time. I'm kind of happy with it. And I also too learned how to do a roof. This has got a texture to it, and what I used, let's see if I have it down here. It's like a fine ballast. It's something that came in the Woodland Scenic Ridge kit. It's buff fine ballast. I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong. It's a Chamus ballast fine, or no, I think that's just a different language. But anyways, so you put a paint down on the roof. Well, this is, by itself on just the part. And while the paint is still wet, you just take like a little cup like this right here, and you just kind of tap on it and just sprinkle it on there. Of course, I didn't do it on the building. I just did it on the part, and let that dry. And then you just kind of take a brush, kind of like this one here, and kind of brush off the loose stuff. And then you come back and you do um, like a light gray wash, and then you come back, and to get spots where it's a little more bleached out from like the sun and stuff like that, you come back and you just do like a little dry brushing with some like very very light gray or a little bit of white, and you just kind of brush it just a little bit here, a little bit there, just a dry brushing on. You almost have the brush. And I used this one right here. It was almost completely dry. It had hardly any paint in it at all when I was doing that. But it turned out pretty good. Tried to come back and do a little bit of a black wash, and that actually made the roof look a little bit wet in the areas right here. So, and that's okay. I like that. Maybe it just got finished raining, and there's some little wet spots where the water's been pulling up down here towards the back end of the building. And of course, in the back of the building, we have some downspouts, so the water has somewhere to go. Put that away. But yeah, I think I did a pretty good job. This is my first building ever. First model for a model railroad that I did. I don't think I did too bad. I'm getting older. I'm 50 years old now, and my eyesight's not that great anymore. I wear glasses. My dexterity, or I guess you could say my steady hands, are not steady as much as they used to be. So I did the best I could. Let's see, what else can I share for techniques? Some tips. Make sure that you paint the parts you can right on the little frame that the injection mold comes on all the parts. Do as much as you can. Make sure that you know where the joints are going to be put together, that you don't put any paint on that, because you're going to be putting glue on that. If you do, it's okay, because you can come back and you can use a hobby knife or an X-Acto knife to kind of scrape it off. So like right up here, in these grooves where these firewalls go in, after I did the texturing and everything, I had to dig them out a little bit so I could get this to be level again, and make sure you test fit everything. I test fit this, and then when I was ready for it and it looked good, and I painted these parts before I put them on. Actually, all of the rooftop parts, all of the little chimneys and the little roof access points that are on here. I painted all those right onto the, I don't know what they call it, the little frame that the injection molds come on. Yeah, they're in the box, I guess. But anyhow, so yeah, you want to do that, and then make, like on the bottom of the joint where the joint was going to be made, I didn't put any paint on those. So when you put the glue down and you glue it down, you get a nice good bond. And then I came back and I did a little bit of a black wash on the chimneys to make it look a little weathered, look like it's got a little soot on the chimneys from burning wood, and put a little on the what do we call those? The little access points, manholes for the roof or whatever. Put just a little bit of black on those too to kind of give it a little tarnish, a little weathering. And I did not put the roof and the back on. I had the front and the sides put all together with the floor or the bottom of the building. And I was able to put all the windows in. And I wished I would have done this before, but I had put the windows in, and I actually put all the decals that go in behind the windows to make it look like, so if you look in there, you can see like some shades are drawn, some shades are halfway, some shades are, different positions. And I wish that I would have not put those in the glass, and I would have went ahead and painted it first before I did that, because when I had to come back and paint it, it was really difficult to keep the paint off of the windows and stuff like that. And I wish I would have waited to the end to do that, and then I could have glued everything, these last two pieces at the end. But Yeah, so make sure you do that too. It makes your life a lot easier. You don't paint everything right away. Let things dry. I think that's why I had some problems with doing my weathering. I didn't wait long enough for the paint to dry. I should have let it dry overnight because I kept trying to do my black wash to get the little relief, the little lines in the concrete, little sections, and it still came out okay. I'm happy with it, but it's a little more weathered than I think that I really want. I really intended it to be, but it still don't look bad. I mean, if you go in some places in towns and you're walking down the sidewalk, it's not going to be completely clean in most places unless they power washed it or they painted over it or they've had to do some plumbing work or something or street work and they chiseled it all out, with a hammer drill or whatever, and they came back and then they redid the concrete so it would look like a new section of concrete, and you don't really want that. I think this looks a lot better, and even got little spots where water has pulled up, whatever. I'm modeling whitefish a little bit, so what I think I want to do in the future, I think the last thing I'm going to do to this building, I'm pretty much done with it. I'm finished with it. I think it's done. But I want to put some awnings or covers that come out like they do down in town whitefish now. And in the old days, I guess they didn't do that. But now they've got a cover, goes from one end of the street down over the sidewalk, from one end across all the buildings. And I think most of them are in their own and some of them are conjoined, but it comes all the way across the front over the top of the entrances of all the businesses and all the windows. So that's an idea for the future. I got to figure out how I'm going to do that, how I'm going to build that, I'm going to glue it on, paint it, whatever. So that's an idea. If anybody out there has any suggestions or any ideas on how to do that, please, or if they already make them and I can buy them and just put them on and save me a little bit of time, please leave that in the comments and let me know. Yeah, so last bit of details. I think I'm pretty happy with it now. I'm finished with it. The only thing I'm going to do now is when I get ready to put it on the layout, I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put my LEDs inside of there so I can have a little night scene. And of course, on the front up here, I'm, somewhere on the layout, there's going to probably be some street lamps. I'm going to try to match the ones like they have downtown Whitefish, so it's going to be more of a rustic look. Yeah, so these are the paints that I used. This is the Army Painter War Paints. I did use my airbrush for like my base coat on the buildings in the flat black. This was the flat black that I used right here. Now, all in all, I think I used this whole thing for mixing and getting all my color tones and all my weathering and everything. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16. I guess 17, I guess about 17 or 18 different colors that I used just to get where I wanted to be on this building here. Trying to think of some other techniques and ideas to help you guys out if you try to do this. I like this kit. I think Walthers does a good job, but I mean, it is my first one. I haven't tried any other kits out there. If you guys know of some kits that you like, if you have any suggestions, you can also leave that in the comments for me. Little tools that you want to need. Let's see. You got to have some paints. For this model, I found out that this Citadel plastic glue works the best, and it's really great stuff that I've been using. Make sure you got a hobby knife. Make sure you got a big brush, a medium-sized brush, a little brush, and then you want a little fine detail brush like this one here, with got a little fine point on it. And this one I got, I think, from Army Painter. So there's that. Get you a cup that you don't want to drink out of anymore, that is going to be dedicated to doing your painting, and put you some just regular old water in there for cleaning your brushes. I like to use acrylic, so I don't have to worry about messy cleanup with using mineral spirits or anything like that. And it's water soluble. Make sure you got a pair of these guys right here. These little snips are great for when you're cutting the parts out of the little injection molded little racks that they come in. You put the side that goes to the part against the flat part, and then the other part goes towards the little rack or whatever, and you just snap it off, and it makes a clean, flush cut. If you don't have those, you can use a hobby knife, and you can press it down and cut through onto like this, a table like this. Yeah, make sure if you can get you one of these nice mats. This is a self-healing mat. I don't know what brand this is. I got it off of Amazon. Yeah. Trying to think of some other things, other tools that you might need. It's good to have a good light. I've got this light right here that I got on my little workbench. It kind of clamps on to the ding. Yeah, make sure you got organization too for your little tools and everything over here, or something like it. You know, I got a little carousel. I got a little miniature motor tool if I need to sand something down, little parts and stuff like that. That's just something extra. You don't have to have that. I got all kinds of little screwdrivers and things, and yeah. But yeah, make sure you got a light like this. And then I like this, when you're taking pictures, you can change the tone for stuff, and you can dim it if you want to. I can turn it off, dim it, bring it back up, whatever I want to do. It helps with taking pictures and stuff like that. Yeah, there's not really much more. I'm excited to have my first building finished. It looks pretty good, looks decent. I like it. I think I did a pretty good job. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I think it's pretty awesome. All right, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, you can leave that in the comments as well. I'll be glad to get back with you when I can, and I hope you guys have a great day, and see you later. Oh, one last thing. If you can, please help me out. Hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button to like this video, and y'all have a great one.